Good morning. This morning we're going to talk about near misses. All of us have undoubtedly been involved or been witnesses to what we would call a near miss. No one actually gets injured. There's no actual damage necessarily done. However, it's very, very, very close. And these sorts of things do happen to us just in ordinary life, but most particularly at work, which is what we want to discuss. How many times have you shrugged off a near miss? Maybe really never gave it a second thought. Uh, what if we think more seriously about that near miss? The difference between a near miss and an accident is very often just the fraction of a second, or maybe an inch, or fractions of an inch. And when it happens again, the difference or whatever stops it from being an accident may not be there. So we don't really ever know or can't always anticipate when there's going to be a serious injury or when a serious injury is going to be the next thing that happens. One study shows that for every 330 incidents of the same type, 300 produce no injuries, 29 produce minor injuries, and 1 produces a major injury. The problem is that we never know which time the major injury is going to occur. Near misses are warnings, really, is what they are. If we heed those warnings and look for causes, we may be able to prevent injury or damage. Here's an example. You are going up a walkway into a building and your foot slips, but because you're agile and you're empty-handed, you retain your balance with no harm done. Another person comes along, slips perhaps even in the same spot. His reactions are a little slower than yours. To keep from falling, he jumps off the walkway, and once again, no real harm done. Then comes a third person carrying a load. He has the same experience, but he slips or falls off the walkway with the load and breaks an ankle or does some other injury to himself. 2 warnings were given, but they were ignored. Finally, somebody got hurt. Now, whatever it is that was causing the slippage, whether it was ice or whether it was a loose cleat on a stair or sand or mud or whatever, that finally has its effect. And now we have to actually do something to correct the condition. We've locked the barn door, however, after the horse is already out. 2 of us saw this coming, and yet we didn't do anything about it. The third person is the person who ultimately gets injured. So whenever you see a near miss, ask yourself the question, well, why did that occur? Why did that happen? Suppose you're walking towards a suspended mason's scaffold and you see a brick fall, but you don't hear anybody shout, or you don't hear a warning shout. Ask yourself, well, why did it fall? Was it kicked loose? Was a toe board missing? Then correct the condition if possible. If you can't correct it yourself, report it to someone who can. So let's try to be proactive. We don't want to just be reactive about safety. If we can see things as they come, wisdom is looking ahead and seeing the consequences, and common sense is just wisdom in work clothes. So try to look ahead, and when you see these near misses occur, ask yourself the question, why did this occur? How can we prevent what may become a serious accident in the future if we don't pay attention to this situation now? Thanks very much for your time, and I hope that you have a good and a very, very safe day. Thank you.